Good day, everyone. How are you doing? I hope you are all doing fantastic, feeling groovy, realizing, of course, that the government really doesn't love you, and also realizing that pretty much everything you've been told since the day you were born is a lie. It is July the 22nd of 2025, 9:15 a.m. Mr. Buzz is coming to you from the communist shithole that is known as Ontario, Canada. And I think this should be an interesting video. I have got an amazing divine story to tell, and I wasn't going to tell this at all until it got more intense last night. And the icing was put on the cake. As you can see behind me, which way I gotta go? This way. There's a bicycle. There's a bike back there. A very nice 21 speed. And I also have a trailer that hooks up to it, and I can go grocery shopping and everything. Just beautiful, beautiful. Really nice bicycle, really nice trailer. Just, a friend of mine showed up with it last night, knocked on the door, said, "You got wheels now." I'm like, "What?" He takes me around the backyard. He already had it in the backyard. There you go. That's yours. Blew my mind. It's really nice. I'm so stiff and sore from riding that thing already. I haven't been on a bicycle in 40 years, okay? It's 40 years since I've been on one. So it's quite a thrill just to get on it and feel the wind blowing through my hair. It was pretty amazing. But there's a lot more to this story than that. So I was following these videos on YouTube for a long while. Some of them so accurate that it was mind-blowing, and instructions from the Lord and stuff, like talking about a coming breakthrough and all these things that were going to happen. I ended up getting frustrated with them because I started watching a lot of them that didn't seem to be anything to them. They were just, I don't know, somebody trying to make money, get clicks, whatever. And they weren't actually authentic. It was nothing to do with God, so I get really frustrated and I stopped watching all that stuff. And I'll be honest, I even turned away from the Lord a little bit. Started smoking again, which, that was a real bad move, but that's what I did. Drank some alcohol. Turned away from the Lord, really. I fell, to be quite honest. So one day, probably about a month and a half ago, no more of those videos came up. I didn't see them anymore. The Lord seemed to know I didn't want to watch those anymore, and they weren't in my feed anymore. They just stopped instantly. But all of a sudden, one video, the same video, showed up in my feed and stayed there. I didn't watch it. It just stayed there. And it was the first episode of Highway to Heaven with Michael Landon and Victor French. Now, this was my mother's favorite show in the world. She never missed that. Turns out it's one of my aunt's favorite shows, too. But my mother was really obsessed with that show, okay? The whole time it was on, she never missed it. She watched every episode of every season. I never did. I wasn't a TV watcher at all. So this video stays there. It's the very first episode of that show ever, okay? And it's in my feed, and it doesn't go away. A month later, all the other videos are changing all the time. That one is still there. So I'm like, okay, I better pray and see if that's really for me, that it must be. So I was like, Lord, am I supposed to watch that? I got confirmation real quickly. You need to watch that right now. So I did. And then I watched the second one. I watched 2 episodes. Now, between those 2 episodes, in the very first one, Michael Landon is assisting him. He gets assignments. He's an angel, and he goes to help these people, okay? And in his first assignment, in his first show, he gives a bicycle to this one he's helping. And she gets on it. And she's like, wow, I haven't ridden a bike since I was a little kid. Okay, the same thing just happened last night. Besides that, Victor French, his assistant in the show, the Lord's making him quit smoking. Every time he tries to light one up, the wind blows it out or it rains on him, something. But this is the one that really, really gets me. I've been talking in my videos about saving worms on the sidewalk. They crawl out onto the concrete, and they lay there in the sun and bake. They bake to death. Every time I'm walking, I save a couple. I dig holes, and I save the worms, okay? Well, Victor French is fishing, and he wants Michael Landon to put a worm on the hook, and Michael Landon says, nope. I don't want to be responsible for killing one of the Lord's creatures. So he saves the worms. he saves the worms. I'm watching this. I'm like, whoa. Now, this is before I had the bicycle. So, like I said, that's the thing that put the icing on the cake. What do I do every day? How do I make ends meet? Gardening. Guess what Michael Landon was doing in the very first episode? He was gardening. He was planting flowers. He was doing exactly what I do every day. I mean, there's more from the episodes. I off the top of my head, I can't remember everything that was relevant, but everything was relevant. Everything. Every last bit of it was so relevant, especially once the bike showed up. And I get on it, and I'm riding down the street, and I'm like, wow, I haven't done this in 40 years. And it just clued in. It's like, oh my. Oh my. So, I asked the Lord for an assignment. I said, okay, it's obvious that I'm your employee, that I'm working for you, that you have things for me to do. So please give me an assignment. Well, he gave me one all right. I hadn't heard from my son in a long while. No sooner did I ask the Lord for an assignment, he calls. And it's all bad, I'll just put it that way. It's all bad. So, yeah, I'm on the case to try to help that situation. But it was literally within an hour of asking, give me an assignment. Phone call, just like that. So after I deal with that phone call, I hang up, get another one from my aunt. She talks about the video I made 2 days ago for someone grieving a loss. It was her. She was the reason I made that video. She lost her husband a while ago. She was having a real bad day about it. She was sitting outside and she was crying her eyes out, and the Lord told her it'd be okay and all this, and then she went in, and it was the next morning. She watched my video, and we figured out that I made that right at the time she was sitting outside crying. It was for her. So I hang up from talking to my son. She calls within 3 seconds of that. And I hadn't heard from either one of them in a long time. It all just, everything just came together completely. And the Lord has informed me, obviously, that I need to quit smoking. So I'm going to quit smoking, and yeah. But since I watched those first 2 episodes of Highway to Heaven, I don't know if you've ever noticed this, but on the homepage of YouTube, there's podcasts, news, truth, music, live, media theories, information. One of the choices for me is Michael Landon. Michael Landon is now a category on my YouTube homepage. And when I just hit the YouTube icon and a new feed comes up, it is plastered. It's 90% Highway to Heaven. After watching 2 episodes, that's all I watched. I have watched certain channels for years, daily, every day and every day and every day. Highway to Heaven has taken over the whole feed. It's very obvious that that's what I'm to watch, okay? And after the relevance of the first 2 episodes, I'm very much looking forward to watching more because, I mean, it's a bit of a cheesy 80s show, but boy, the relevance. And I think the Lord is saying, this is the example I'd like you to follow. I'd like you to be kind of like that. My heart is just pounding talking about this. The bicycle really did it. When I'm riding, there's this thing that tells you how fast you're going on this street. Didn't know that was there. I got up to 20 miles an hour, and whoa, I'm really cruising now. I can't believe this. I haven't been on a bike in 40 years. And bang, that episode of Highway to Heaven, she said the same thing in that episode. I'm like, whoa. That was intense. Saving worms. The Lord making me quit smoking. It was all there. Every bit, and the gardening. Him planting flowers. It's like, that's how my day goes. I go plant some flowers. I save some worms. I save the worms when I'm gardening too. If I dig them up, I dig in a hole to plant something and the worm comes up. Oh, sorry, buddy. I'll even talk to them and dig another hole and put them in. Make sure they're okay. I save worms every day. Wild. Just wild. So maybe you'll think it's all just coincidence. A lot of people like to chalk things up to coincidence. I know none of that is coincidence. Not a single bit of it. Not a single bit of it. So thought maybe you'd enjoy that story. It's how the Lord communicates with me. It's always clear and undeniable every time. And he'll make sure there's several things, not one. One, you could go, okay, well, that could be a coincidence, even though I don't believe in coincidences at all. But when you get 3, 4, and 5 things, plus the fact that Highway to Heaven was my mother's absolute favorite show. And I know that the Lord considers me an employee. I'm not sure what exactly the role is yet. I'm still trying to work that out and figure it out and mold myself into it. Or let him mold me into it, I should say. But I do know that I work for him. And now my feed is so plastered with Highway to Heaven, it's just undeniable. These are my training videos, I think. So, I will leave it there. Maybe you don't find it all that interesting, but it's got my mind completely blown. And, of course, I must remind you all, never forget this. Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the life.